We're going to start this review of the FiiO FT1 off with a thing I saw on the internet and then retweeted about. Look, audiophiles. God, this upper treble is shit. Oh, yep, I need this more amp. Oh, the headband mod, 12 dB about, and the sadness of audiophiles. And the, whoa, look at those costs. Porta Pros for $50. So cool. Music enjoyer. I want to be the music enjoyer. So bad. Echo, turn on review time. Gotta get that purple going. But we have to ride the line as a society, as a hobby. We are in the same fucking hobby. I put anime waifus on because I want to be distracted from the boringness of this hobby. From the 75-year-old men who go to these shows and complain. I don't want to be that. I want to be that. I want to be the music enjoyer. I don't want to spend a load of money to be happy. I don't want to. But this is my life. So we're here. So these. So wait. These. Who remembers these? The JT ones. I went off on like a fucking rant. Under $100. Open back, but it was like so dampened it really didn't matter. And then some people had like problems with the pads and it was closing in, it was sweaty, but they were like, oh, it was so cheap. And FiiO, and we fast forward months, and people who have them and love them, and people who have them and are like a little off, well, the fix is put fucking Eris pads on it. You can buy these for like $45 and put them on a thing. So step forward into the fucking, by the way, it's a $1,000 IM cable that I adapted, but that's more for the meme. Step forward to the FiiO FT1, which is getting superb Amazon reviews, like 4.9 with like 60 of them, which is nutty. And put Eris pads on them. You don't have to, but we're back to where I want to just be the music enjoyer that tells you to spend, wait. How many gemstones in the title, Zeos? $169.96. No gemstones. $170 is still not nothing. If you're coming to this video and you're a person who's fucking scared to shit of all those headphones, don't worry. This is actually a pretty low tier as far as pricing goes. Not under 100. And I know some of you are looking for like $20 headphones. Go get COS. In fact, in the link in the description, COS KPH 40. $40. If you can't afford more than $40, get a KPH 40. It'll look like this, only it won't be white, and you could change the pads, and it's one of the best budget things ever. This is music enjoyer guy. Boom. He was looking at COS. I'm telling you to buy COS. You get a little more money. FT1s, if they're your thing, if you want a little bit more aggressive thing, get it. Absolutely, 100% get it. You don't have to worry about the wire. The wire's fantastic. It's on a fucking table somewhere. But now we're getting into like the nearly $200 range. And I remember the time when we fell in love. I was just listening to that song, so it's in my head. I remember when $200 was going to be too much fucking money. I mean, I rocked Sennheiser HC280 Pros, which is a $100 pair, for like 9 years. Because spending more than that'd be ridiculous. So to someone out there, $169 is oh my God, it's my lifetime. I'm never going to buy a headphone better than this. And to some of you, that's like, do they make headphones that cheap? So what we're going to do is we're going to pretend these are some amount of money that is perfect. If you're broke ass and this is too expensive, forget it. Just listen to the words. If you're a fucking pompous asshole with a billion headphones, you've spent the money and I got my $1 million in amps. I love how I pointed to amps. There's no amps over here. Actually, there is an amp over there. But listen anyway. These are fucking great, which pains me because that means I have to agree with DMS. And we all know DMS and I, while being partners and running Hi-Fi Guides, the forum, we don't usually agree. We agree on some things. Tungsten, yes. Eris, comfort, yes. But we agree on this. He didn't like those. We agree on this. And I was sitting here. I've been walking around with them, and I've been playing them. And I'm like, holy fuck, how did they make the wires so nice? Wait. Plural. Wires. This is a 3.5. The motherfucker comes with a 4.2 wires, a balanced cable for $169. this is an entry-level headphone for entry-level people, and yet it comes with a 4.4, and not just any 4.4, like a nice metal, thick, fucking fabric 4.4, like I'll explain why we're here in a second. So, oh, sorry, I diddled the thing. There you go. Build. Let's look at the build first. We're going to sound. We're going to get to sound. There's timestamps if you want to jump around. Check out my Patreon and Subscribestar also. Just forget to tell people to do that. And also the forums. And also get Eris pads, because here's the thing. Wood. Cup. Obviously not thick. It's not like ZMF where the whole thing is carved. You know, it's China. And they're making it out of wood. And there's not many. Did you know they're running out of chopsticks? They didn't have enough trees to make chopsticks. So everyone used chopsticks in Asia. So they use a lot of trees, and they're actually importing like American maple to make chopsticks. So I don't know where they got this wood from, but it's not bad looking. And you can see there's like doing a weird thing with the grain. It's fine. It's fine. It's a little bit of it's a little boring of a finish. Like here's a beautiful stand from Grove Made, this is wood and nice. And I like the color of this, but this is more like Smoking Lounge, 1984, Hugh Hefner, and you know, old speakers that kind of smell all musty. That's that kind of brown. And they could have made it like a red, like a cherry red, like the hollow red streamer. They could have made it like more, but they didn't. But it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. This is an entry-level headphone. It's fine. It is superb. That's why she's wearing superb. But it's fine. You start seeing the price savings when you get to like the actual structure of it. Like this is just pressed metal, not sharp in any way. It's a little bit thick. Yeah, this is roughly the same thing. Actually, I kind of like the... See, this didn't do articulation this way, and this one does, so it's going to be a little different structurally. But, you know, it's not bad. This one did like a stretchy. This one actually slides up and down. And even though it doesn't look like it is, there's notches. You can feel it. You can feel it notching because they're on the back. There's your R and L indicators on the inside of the headband, so they're not shown outside. And you know what? I like it because you pick it up and you literally just tilt it in one direction and you can see, is that an L or an R? They're gray on black, which means if it's a dark room, you're going to have a little hard time. But that's fine. But the actual structure, like you want to get rid of some clamp, this is how you get rid of clamp, everybody. It's okay to do this to most headphones. I do it to the Cas. I do it most headphones. I wouldn't do it to Eris. But there's just a piece of metal in here. As long as you grab it from the metal and the more metal, the same metal, not like over here. Don't like pull it from over here because then you're putting stress on all the parts in the middle. You just want to get rid of some clamp. Just work your thumb in there. Put your fingers where they are. All of a sudden now look at it. It doesn't clamp as hard anymore. Now it will float on your head instead of down. So, let's finish the top is actually it's padded on the top where it doesn't need to be. Because you're never going to touch this except with your hands. And then it's like nipple padded on the bottom, but it's also like a fake suede. It actually might be more comfortable on top than the bottom. I don't know. You judge that for yourself. We need to talk about what it is. It's a closed headphone. It is a closed headphone. We look upon my wall of all the headphones that I've ever headphoned, and I will point out, hold on, I'm searching, I'm scanning. Stelia's, $3,000 closed headphone. Hi-Femin RE9s were like a $500 headphone. Now they're like $80 because no one was buying them because they're ugly and uncomfortable. But I still like them. They're on the wall. And then we scan over there and then we go up. MX300, Bear Dynamics, gaming headset. Love those things. And then we have a handful over there. ESS, Taxstars, cheap stuff. AKGs, B&Os. Which ones are those? Yamahas. So, and monoprice. So there's a couple, but everything else is open back. Blonde B50. Everything else is open back. Because open back is natural and easy and nothing feels stuffy and you don't get that echo and So to make a closed headphone is a brave move. I might have another collab coming out. It'll probably be a closed headphone. Shh. It'll also be planar. But these with the stock pads, I have to make that they don't look like they're going to be heavy, but they feel dense. And when you wear them in stock form with the stock pads, they are a fucking closed back. And the first thing you notice is they've definitely tuned them properly because you never feel like you're in a stuffy little... It doesn't feel like you walked into an elevator to listen to music where there's just walls and boxes around you and it's like, this doesn't feel right. Like you want to... when you walk out of a tiny elevator and you just get that like breath of fresh air because you're in a space now. That's usually what open headphones do versus closed headphones. And these don't do that. These don't have that like... They have it because they're a closed back, but it's not like severe. And they've tuned it in a way that is going to give it 4.9 out of 5 stars on Amazon because it's got bass, not like aerospace. Nothing on earth has aerospace, which is mid-bass to a bass hum, but it doesn't have sub-bass. It fucking does. It's hidden behind all the other bass. There's sub-bass. But it's got bass. And in fact, I had Dylan from Deconi come here and show me a very special trick that only requires like $1,000 in gear to make it happen. And then we're going to talk about scaling and being an audiophile again. But by default, you plug this headphone in, whether it's balanced or unbalanced, that really doesn't matter. And it's an enjoyable listening experience. You're at a space. It sounds good. It's never harsh. It just sort of like exists. And you're held in this little, you're held by the music. And when the bass comes on, you're like, ooh, that's nice. It's doing a nice thing. I like these headphones. I really like these headphones. But I'm a curious fuck. So I put Eris pads on them. Like a half an hour ago. I had an extra set that I was using previously on the Fostex T50 Mark IV. And that makes them not closed back. So if you own these already, or you're thinking about owning them, and you want to help support Zeos, because I do get a percentage if you buy the pads. But then again, any pads will make a change, so it doesn't have to be Eris pads. But people will tell you that Eris pads are amazing. Put these on. Because now, when I wear them, which, wow, I took a load of clamp out of them, and they barely feel like they exist on my head. Hold on. I may have taken too much clamp out. In fact, here, we're going to have to put some clamp back. Let me show you how that's done. Because you're going to fuck it up, too. We're going to push those down. And we're just going to make a loop-de-loop. But then we're going to be real pedantic about it. Make a loop-de-loop in the other direction. So that we don't get a twist in it. See, now look. Now look. It sits closed again. Modifications, everybody. Free of charge. Just don't fucking break it. So now that I've put back some clamps so that it... Because there does need to be some pad manipulation, whether it's stock pads or Eris pads. It needs to, like, compress a little bit. Just seat properly. With the costs, I make them so they barely touch you. But if you want to grab some of that low end, you do have to make it... Boom. I actually might have added more. I think I've added more clamp than they had by default. Because no comfort strap, you are going your head straight down on that, which means they actually do fit you pretty nicely if you're going to walk out in public with these, which even with this cable would be a little bit much. How long is this one? That's my favorite thing to do. My girlfriend hates it. When she says something, I'm like, and she's like, why are you doing that? You know what? This would be fine for portable. This is 5 feet. It's actually like this is my favorite length of cable is 60 inches or 5 feet or 1.5 meters because it works on a desk and it can work portable. So it's fine with our 3.5 millimeter monos, by the way. Where was I? Okay. So now I've made them not closed back, which is an option. Because the pads matter a fuckload. Because if this pad, which goes against your head and goes against a headphone, if this pad is open mesh, open materials, then sound will travel through it. To make a truly closed, noise-canceling, ceiling fuck you headphone, this has to stop sound from the side, which this does with solid pleather on both ends and then like a fabric, and the density of the foam matters a fuckload. I keep saying the word fuckload. It's probably why I get demonetized. Or actually, I don't. Never get demonetized for language on this channel. Green down the board. Had 1 or 2 desk mats and wallpapers, but other than that, it seems to be fine. And also don't mention other, like, diseases. Now that we've made them semi-open, because they're not open blatantly, now that they're semi-open, and we've removed just a little bit of the clamp to get it just right, and we put them on our heads, now I can tell you how they sound. Well, I could if I knew exactly what you plugged them into, because on my desk I keep a plethora of different things, And the two things that are the most neutral are the FiiO K19, which FiiO, come on, bros. I wish that screen would turn on when I turn the fucking volume. Oh God, 90, we'll die. Actually, 90 is the correct volume. So by changing pads on a very neutral thing, the bass is still intact, but a little bit like less trapped in there. It's a little less. It just feels less. And the treble actually goes up. We get a little more treble out of it because the driver, which I've got to show you I got to show you the driver before I move on because people I'll put the thing back on. I don't care. Look at the size of this. Is that a 50? Is it a 50? Does it say on the site that it's a 50 millimeter? 90 years of material, blah, 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 blah. Talk about the driver. North American black walnut solid ear cups. So, okay, that explains that they're not chopsticks. 0.1. I didn't actually read the blurb here. Feel free to do it. But it's nano wood fiber composite diaphragm. So that's actually, see, here's the thing. Here's a secret. Paper is made of wood fiber. So it's a paper cone. Blah, 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 blah. It's thin. Vibrating area, W-shaped suspension. Does it actually fucking say in millimeters how big the driver is? Be nice. 60 millimeter. That explains a fuckload. I actually didn't know. I try not to... For those of you who don't know how Zeos operates, he tries to know fucking nothing. Zeos, y'all seem very informed when we do this. I don't want to know. I don't want to know the name of the designer. I don't know what his fucking problems are. I don't care how many years he's been working on it. I don't even want to know the size of the driver. I want to know the price. I want to go into all reviews ignorant. And I just want to listen. Because it'll get in my head, oh, it's got a 60 millimeter driver. Oh, it's easy. Oh, maybe it sounds better because of that. I don't want to know. I didn't take the pads off till I was sitting at this desk swapping them to the fucking Eris pads. So yeah, that's a huge 60 millimeter fucking driver, which explains also, by the way, the tuning film in here is very reminiscent because there's holes that lead from the back of the driver back to the front. Very reminiscent of HD800, like the microfiche film here. So you get a 60 millimeter driver, which is exceptionally large. Eris is only a 50. NDH20s and NDH30s are 40 millimeter drivers. She big. The only ones bigger than that were those Sonys that like hung off your head. They were like 70 millimeter drivers. They were nutty, and then they didn't actually sound very good. So you get a massive offset front facing. I wonder if these will work backwards like Eris. Give you soundstage mode. We're going to test that in a second. So like under here does not look like a $170 headphone at all. We've even got, I guess those are for the screws. Yeah, they got it for screws. You also have a vent up here, which looks like a little radio speaker for your phone. But yeah, okay, so you got a 60 millimeter dum-dum driver. Let me explain. All right, I'll explain what got me to do this review. Yes, Dylan, showed up. Dylan from Dylani, whose job is similar to mine, where he has to listen to headphones all day. But then after he listens to them, he has to go, how do I make a pad for this that people will want to buy that improves said headphones because he can keep Dylani in the green. And I'm going to actually, I don't have to reverse the cables to listen to it backwards because I don't know these songs that well, but I'm going to put them on backwards just for a second. Oh, no. It definitely sounds like the sound is behind me versus what Eris does, where it just makes it wider. Eris does weird phasing things, though. Oh, no. That bitch is screaming from behind me. Okay, let's turn around. Yeah, now she goes to the side and correct, and then she's like way back there when they're backwards, so they don't sound right backwards. Eris, you can run backwards. So, Dylan from fucking Dylani has these, is playing with them, trying to make pads, see if it's worth it. Are they popular enough? They're gonna be, because I'm gonna fucking jizz on them. Comes here, because he was hanging out with me, and he's like, dude. He actually doesn't say dude a lot. He was like, he had some demands. He's like, we need a tube amp, a Gishelli Labs amp with tone controls, and an IFI with bass boost that's an analog pass-through. And I'm like, I got you, because this is my fucking basement. Of course I have all those things. So we used the Gishelli Daisy as my source. We went into the Sparkos Labs Gemini. Even though it's only a hybrid, we use that as the tube part of this journey. Then we outputted RCA into an IFI Zencan, the little guy. We set the X bass on the Zencan, and then we outputted from that balanced into the Gishelli Arcal 2.5, and then we turned the bass knob on that almost all the way up. And I was able, since everything's running on the desk at the same time, I was able to go out from this into that, out from that into the IFI, out from the IFI into the fucking Gishelli. So I had this chain of 3 very expensive, it was $1,000 and $200 and $500 fucking amplifiers, and the bass was an R word I'm not allowed to say on the internet. And like Eris has bass, it does, but it's a big swath of bass, and it's on everything, and it's easy to do. These can do more bass technically and lower without distortion because of that 60 millimeter driver. But you need those things. You need a tube amp to soften things up. You need a bass shelf, which is not like an IFI bass boost. You just need the back end to go brr. That's what the Gishelli Labs did, which I guess you could technically accomplish that with EQ. And then you need the IFI bass boost, which is IFI X bass is world renowned for just being silly. If you stack silly bass boosts onto this, they are actually physically usable. So we're back to this. See, this was us at the beginning of the review, and now this is us now. With like, do we need pads? Oh, do we need tubes? Oh, okay. So, first of all, look at this case. It's been sitting on here, and I never noticed. They're like, hey, why do you have a Focal case from your expensive Focal headphones? Oh, no. This comes with the fucking... This comes with the fuck... Look how nice this case is. FiiO, why are you fucking me up? I'm trying to do some like... I'm trying to just review things here, man. You just like... You're throwing in cases that should be like $35 on their own. Like the pear shape and just... Oh, it's so nice. And the wires... are so nice, and the headphone build is good. This is like a hardened polymer, but this is FiiO, and even though it looks cheap, it slides and feels so nice with the notches. And then we're on to the sound and why I'm plugged into the Gremlin, because I start on the K19, then go to the JDS Labs, which is linear and linear, and then I can go to the ADI 2-4 Pro SE, which is a $2,500 German DAC amp combo that sounds ooh for a solid state. And then I go up to the Sparkos, which is just plain silly. And then I go to the $100 Gremlin, which is also just plain silly because it's a hybrid, but it's only $100. So I'm trying to stay in that music enjoyer fucking part of the meme and not go up to audiophile. But we're getting there. So now if I plug this in here instead of a clean linear solid state, sound improvements happen. And it's just an overall betterment. It's with it. These will do the thing called scale. A lot of the cheaper cost stuff does it. Eris kind of does it too. And these fucking do it. These never really did it. And that's the problem, is when you start getting $170 headphones that, you throw some $45 pads on it, at least you don't have to change the wire, because the wire is fucking sickly nice. But you're going to want to play with tubes, hybrid tubes, Class A amplifiers. I should pull a Rebel amp out. These will probably fucking sound amazing on a Rebel amp. But now with these pads and that amp in the correct orientation, listening to... I'm going to go to my test playlist. We're going to go to London Grammar Bittersweet Symphony Live at BBC Madia Val. This is Audiophilia. Forget that fucking meme. Forget Audiophilia meaning anything to do with money. This is just fucking loving sound. And it's just this so far. Symphony that's live. God, her voice is so clear. And the clarity comes from the pad swap, because it bumps the treble. I need a little bit more spice in my treble, especially on these, because they're just too dull with the stock pads. And I'll take the loss of bass. But, if I use these every day, that treble would stop bothering me in like 3 days. Road that never been down. And feel free to, again, don't worry about using my pads, my Aris pads. Use any pads you fucking have lying around. If they're in your house already, it's a free change. These are 100mm pads. They're a little bit shaped like the straight edges. Round pads work fine. I want to listen to this whole song. They shouldn't be this good. In my mode, I'm here in my mode. God damn it. And they have an energy like this, that bigger driver, which I don't think it actually affects. They're actually still pretty difficult to drive. I don't know the actual impedance. There's so much I don't know. Does it say the impedance? Can I control F, Alt, 234? Because that's how you type ohms. Oh, wait. Audio driver size, 6E plus 1 centimeters. What? 2.2 pounds, 20 hertz, contemporary style. It doesn't say the ohms rating. Fucking 89% 5-star with 38 reviews, which is excellent, by the way, because the JT1s, which $65, which apparently come in silver as well. I never saw them in silver. When the fuck did that happen? When did silver happen? Oh, they look so good in silver. 135 ratings, only a 4.6. Only a 4.6. Still fucking stellar. 4.3. Actually, look at all these great headphones down here. Jesus. Yeah, I don't know what the impedance is on them, because that actually matters a great deal of how it handles different things like tubes. Because a pure tube amp likes higher impedance. It means you're pulling on the tube amp more. You're going to get more out of it. Planars usually don't work on a tube amp because planars are like 22 ohms impedance, which means it goes through and there's not enough resistance and it just sort of loops and it sounds kind of funny. But these just absorb. Can you hear the music? Let's put the stock pads back on. Yeah, full recommendation for these. The L&R indicators are also, by the way, in the pads. So I don't know why they would put them in the pads and there. I guess it's so you don't have to tilt it as much. Because usually what I would want to see is them in the pads only if, by the way, here's how you do pads. You ready? You got to find a flat spot and you just got to get that lip in there just that much. And then you got to slam your thumb on it, and then you put your other thumb on the inside here, and you pull, and you just feed your thumb around, and then you push your finger on it. So now we've locked there, and that's done. And then you put your finger back in, and you just keep locking fingers until your shit's just all on. It's all about. It's weird, all right. I was gonna make a joke about fingering a witch or something, but I didn't, so you're all lucky about that. What's this? L. Good. Yeah, I wonder if there's like a pad changing championship. I wouldn't win, but I'd like to compete. I'm sure it'd be in like Stockholm, Sweden or something. This would also be easier if I unplugged the wires and wasn't trying to do it fast. Stretchy, stretchy, stretchy. Pinch of that fucker. Go fuck in there. All right. Back to stock pads. Rotate them around. We are in the correct orientation. I'll go back to that. So, oh my God, there's so much more closed. I will say the wire, if I had to complain about the wire, and I got to complain about everything, slightly microphonic, which means like if I turn my head and it's rubbing on my shirt, I can kind of hear it. Not a big deal. It could easily be fixed with a Magia cable. Yeah, I don't think you're spending $185 on a $169 headphone, but I'm not you. Spend your money as you want. Oh my God. So, okay. Step one, once you take the Eris pads off and go back to stock, it gets so much louder because you're literally trapped in there. You're back into that like fucking tunnel. So we got to lower this. And it's a much warmer sounding headphone now. Yeah, if you want width and openness, Eris pads. If you want, when you get these, which you're blatantly buying them, put them on by default. Play them by default on any amplifier. It doesn't matter if it's tube or stock or your phone. Get a good taste for them and tell me if you like that. Well, don't tell me. I don't. Not that I don't care, but where the fuck are you going to tell me? I guess Public Chat Z reviews or on Hi-Fi Guides, where I'm sure there's a post for these. Actually, you know what? I might be wrong as far as the treble boost goes. The treble might always be there. That like just a little bit high treble. It's just you're more likely to hear it in these for some reason. Big day in the north, by the way, from Black Grape, from the Virtuosity OST. I love the movie Virtuosity. Go watch that. I'm sure it's streaming somewhere. You know, these do what I would call an unabashed thing of quality. You don't know nothing about audio. You put these on, your mind's blown. They're big and lush and smooth. And now that I know there's a 60mm driver, that's all I'm like attributing everything to that. Oh, well, it's got a wooden composite 60mm driver. Obviously, that's why it sounds so big and lush. But I didn't know that before I looked it up. And it still was that big. I just didn't know why. It's okay to not know why something is amazing and just love it for what it is. As long as you're not overspending on stupid cables, cable risers. Jesus Christ. That's from Pulp Fiction. Love is a Red Dress. Hang Me in Rags. I don't have an... Oh, Maria McKee is the artist. So yeah, I'm going to give these... I don't do numbers in this channel. But build is certainly acceptable for the cost. This is kind of a cheap mechanism. But I have a $1,000 Moondrop here. Oh, excuse me. That I'm about to review at some point. That uses the same mechanism to just... of bent metal to stop things from rotating. Look at the pads on these, though. So yeah, the Cosmos will be coming up at some point, and I'll have to compare them to the fucking Venus and the Para. It's a whole thing. Yes, you're buying these anyway. I mean, if you made it to the end of the review, which none of you actually do, I get like 5% of you make it to the end. Thank you. Yes, you're buying these. If you're looking for a closed back, I recommend them. If you're looking for a semi-closed back or a semi-open back, buy Eris pads and these, and there you go. It's actually very similar in leak that the Eris have, even though those have vents around the whole thing, just because the pads just have that, they have that breathing aspect of them. I haven't really heard anything that I disliked on them, which is rare also. A couple times the treble gets to me, and I'm like, well, if I'm going to have the treble get to me, like, lower it, just put these on it. But overall, these are fucking astonishing. It's actually going to be kind of like, it's going to be bothersome now. Doing most closebacks in the future are going to be 3-4 times the price of this, and I'm going to have to compare them to it. I'm going to have to. In both comfort and build and sound quality. And the fact that FiiO is using a 60mm driver means they're not using some rando driver that just came off a shelf, because no one fucking makes a 60mm. This is definitely theirs. And the fact that it scales on top of all of this, and you could swap it out to the goddamn Sparkos and just experience. Let me go back to this, because this was a whole thing. Yeah. All right, FiiO. You win this round. You've made a superb product at a reasonable price. But don't think that lets you off the hook for making fucking CD players and cassette decks, which I have. Actually, they're right there. I got the FiiO turntable, the FiiO portable cassette, and I don't have the FiiO, no, I'm sorry, FiiO portable CD player, not cassette. I don't have the cassette. In every color, like the rainbow. FiiO, what are you doing to me? This channel not sponsored by FiiO, somehow. I mean, they send me stuff, but they don't pay me, so... Can't say I'm sponsored if there's just shit on my shelves. God damn. All right. Patreon subscribe so I support this channel. Wallpaper in the wallpaper hoard. Every wallpaper I've ever used ever for the entire life of this channel is in one folder. And you can sync it with Roselio Sync. And then you'll just have 2.5, or I guess now it's probably 2 3/4 gigs of wallpapers. And they're all separated in 16-minute. If you want to do that, link in the description. If you don't want to do that, there's a little snippet of code after that link that says .jpg. And just figure out how to get it off Imager. Because they're up there. Just make it happen. $5 a month lets you see reviews early, participate in yard sales, get the lossless sound demos, and ask me my monthly Q&A questions. Q&A question answers are free to see. And if you do Patreon or Subscribe Star, for $10 a month, you get the behind-the-scenes private Telegram chat where you can ask me questions directly. You get a big dick Telegram group. There, I said it, finally. With 150 other people that gets cleared out every 3 months to make sure you're still an active patron. But you get to ask me any questions you want at any time, and I will fucking eventually get back to you. One of the few places that has an alert in my phone. And if you're in that, you get into a lifetime swap meet channel to buy, sell, and trade gear. In case I keep recommending shit, and you buy it, and you're like, I don't want this anymore, and you could sell it so that someone else who doesn't have all this shit can buy it, or move on with their hobby, or enjoy their thing. It's a nice little private swap meet. So yeah, links to everything I talked about. Fucking just adapters and beautiful cases and nice wires. What are you doing, FiiO? You gonna put me out of a job? No, I guess this just is my job.